everyone, I'm Shaylin here with Reedsy. Today we're going to be talking about writing a book description specifically for Amazon. Now you kind of have two factors in terms of getting readers to pick up your book: discoverability and conversion. Your book's description doesn't really affect discoverability, but it does have a huge effect on conversion. Once a reader looks up your book and actually clicks on its page on Amazon, the description, cover, and look inside are the most important factors in deciding whether or not a reader will pick up your book or whether they will just move past it. Here are 3 steps to writing your book's description. Number 1. Create a hook. Now we do have a video on writing a query letter hook, and I will leave a link to that in the card since a lot of the same principles will apply. Now it's important to consider that Amazon only displays the first few lines of the description unless you click more. So for that reason, those first few lines are really important. You have a really small window to catch a reader's attention and get them to click on read more. Writers often use sales stats, so if they were a something bestseller, or they use a really strong review quote. But if you don't really have either of those things, here are some other options. First of all, use keywords that people will recognize. This includes things like genre, major themes, series names, or awards. These are all things that people will recognize that might entice them to click on the read more. Ultimately, the question you want to ask yourself is, if you had one sentence to get someone to read your book, what would you say? One strategy would be to use a hook for the first sentence and then in the second sentence explain more so the type of book. So an example of this would be, a woman finds herself lost in the Arizona desert with nothing but her horse and a vague idea of the fabled town she's searching for. This debut novel puts a fresh spin on the classic Western with a female heroine and a mystery that needs cracking. So here we have the first sentence, which functions as a hook, introducing us to the situation, and then the second part of that kind of explains the type of novel. If your book is nonfiction, tell us who you are. Are you an expert in your field? Do you have insight that no one else does? Paint a fast picture of what readers will get out of your book. So here's an example. This is from The Power of Habit. A young woman walks into a laboratory. Over the past 2 years, she has transformed almost every aspect of her life. She has quit smoking, run a marathon, and been promoted at work. The patterns inside her brain, neurologists discover, have fundamentally changed. This is so intriguing because it actually sounds like fiction, but we know it's non-fiction. Next up is the blurb, which tells us what the book is really about. The balance here is that you want the reader to know what the book is about, but you also want them to have enough questions that they go on to read the book. So don't give us too many details. Of everything you think is important, probably only a third of it really is. The main things you want to introduce for a fiction novel are the protagonist, the primary conflict, and the stakes. This gives us a sense of the overall story without spoiling too much of the plot. For nonfiction, you want to address the problem, challenge, or question that the book primarily explores or tackles, as well as how it solves and answers this question and what readers will take away from it. You want to use keywords in your description to help rank higher, but don't keyword stuff since Amazon penalizes pretty heavily for this. You also want to optimize for Amazon with formatting, so break up the paragraphs and format it well. You can check out the link in the description with some formatting specs for Amazon descriptions. And finally, number 3, the wrap up. You want to tell your readers why this book is for them. You could do this through comp titles. If they're well-known examples that seem like they would mesh in a really interesting way, the comp title strategy can work really well. You could use a strong positive review, or you could also explain your target audience. So similarly to with comp titles, you could say this book will appeal to fans of this and this. For nonfiction, you generally want to earn the reader's trust so you can speak directly to them. To optimize the wrap-up, again, you can use reviews. Putting reviews in the description, especially a really strong, favorable review, increases the chance that someone will actually see that rather than scrolling all the way down to read through the reviews and finding the really positive one that you want them to see. So that is how to write a book description for Amazon. Thank you so much for watching. I've got a bunch of links on this topic in the description if you want to learn more, and remember to subscribe for new writing, editing, and publishing videos every Tuesday and Friday. Until next time.